Welcome back. This is the Teaching Turtle with another Etheria restart video. Today what we have is a day 30 progress report and also a post-mortem of the free-to-play cup that is finished, at least for me, as of today. My record is coming at 18th place with a record of 4 wins and 2 losses. Regrettably, this is tied with all the way from 5th to 18th place, right? But because of how the tiebreaker works, I did not get into the top 16, right? What I didn't realize is that the Swiss heavily emphasizes the first round in this format, where you're trying to hit a top percentage of everybody. Right? And so we can see that even though I have 2 losses followed by 4 wins, right? Someone else with a similar win rate was able to get in the top 16, and that's just because the tiebreaker is who you fought against, right? So if I fought against stronger opponents and lost, right, in the first 2 rounds, then I would have advanced. Also, if I had fought some stronger opponents in the last rounds where it was a piece of cake, then I also would have had a higher chance of advancing. Right? But it is what it is. It's all luck. It's fine. Right? Meanwhile, we can show what are some achievements that I've had in the account in the first 30 days. So we can show here, right? This is in fact my 30th day of logging in, right? And we can see that I have cleared all of the Inferno content except for Chloros, which is just unlocked just a couple days ago. So we have Inferno, Nikonana, Sharon, Hoyan, Rengokutsu, as well as Teramaton, Doki Doki, and Aurora. Right. So most of those were fairly easy because just having knowledge of what the game mechanics are. Right. As long as you have certain key units, it becomes a lot easier. Right. For Teramaton, having Valerian leveled up makes it a lot easier. Right. And then you either have some single target damage like Lilium or Ditting. Right. And Yelly can also work. Then you just have enough survivability and just push damage quickly. Right. On Doki Doki, the main key focus is getting a Kazuyo. Right. The rest of it doesn't really matter. Like my team comp is absolute trash for this because you want to clear this like within 2 minutes with the AoE team, but I'm clearing it in 4 minutes or 5 minutes using a single target DPS. Right. So you can definitely do a lot of different things with that. Meanwhile, I have Aurora here. Aurora, the main piece is Linglo. Right. Linglo and Viper make you take significantly less damage, and also you need to heal. If you have no healing, then you automatically lose because you deal 90% less damage if you have the Cursed Shield, which can be cleansed, which can be dispelled by having enough healing. Right. Likewise for Doki Doki, you need CC. You do 90% less damage if you don't have CC, so you need to have an AoE CC such as Kazuyo or Obol or Kachi Red, the R unit. Right. Meanwhile, Nikonana is a piece of cake, easily handled as soon as I hit level 50, just by a pretty regular comp. I'm not sure if I used Linglo at the time. It might have been a different unit. But yeah, there's a lot of different options for Nikonana. Right? Sharon is a really slow clear, and it's kind of annoying. So the fastest clear I had was a Mia and Kachi, and I didn't want to level these up because I was trying to only build PvP units, right? Because obviously the tournament was today, right? And yesterday. And so what happened was that I have my actual units I'm using in the tournament, plus these random side characters that are just kind of existing there. Mia helped to reduce the cooldown of Kachi's S3 so that he could use that more frequently. Right? In the end, this team comp just wasn't good enough, especially without the levels. Kachi at such a low level, the win rate was like 20-30%. Right? When I switched up to Valerian, the win rate improved to maybe like 40%. But my Valerian is still 5-star, and the Kachi is still only 5-star, with no lettuce on the Kachi or Mia. Okay. Meanwhile, the Hoyan was super easy because I had just so much damage with the Lilium, right? I just needed to have the Obol here, right? I just gave him some random codex, like literally could have been any Matrix codex, and it would have been fine, because I had to purposely downgrade my team speed. You don't want Obol to be too fast, otherwise he will lap the ads, and so he will cast his S3 stunning them again when they're already stunned, and then they immediately wake up because it's their turn, and then after that you get attacked back, right? So my Obol is 247 speed here, right? And that is just slow enough with the Plumes push that the ads go again. The ads take their first turn before Obol uses his second stun. Right? So that speed requirement for Shadow Flame Hoyan is actually very easy to hit. Right? Meanwhile, Rengokutsu, I used a cheese team with 2 Ambers, right, to farm this. I farmed it just a bit, didn't really have the patience to farm a ton, right, because it is a very slow clear, right, but it definitely works, right. Without having a stronger DPS shell, it's really annoying trying to clear Renkutsu on a fast clear, right, and the goal at the beginning is just clear it at all, right. Meanwhile, Chloros just started doing it today, and then the Hell is super easy. You just have some speed boost. I had the Linglo to make it more reliable, but you can definitely just use another buffer or debuffer and it would be totally fine. The Inferno is giving me some trouble, and that's because I still need to get a better Lilium shell, right? So first let's look at the account in the PvP loadouts that I used in the tournament. Right. So the big picture is that I'm playing Bruiser, turn 2, a lot of big, bulky, slow units that can take a beating and then hit back, right? So my main units that I used were Tiamat, Holden, Lilium, and Raymary. Those are my 4 DPS units. I also have Viper and Mizuki as different options to counter certain units. So Viper is used to counter Lilium, right? And also take less damage from Cleave, potentially. While Mizuki is really good against Tiamat, who I assumed was going to be a very popular pick, just because when you don't have too many options, a lot of people would use the selector on Tiamat, which is actually what I did. The nice thing about these is that you don't have to farm too many different dungeons, right? So I have Amber on here, right? Amber there, and I have Artisan, and then where'd it go? I have another Artisan here, right? Now, if you have a Rahu, that'd be another Artisan user as well, right? So very easy farming. You don't have to farm the annoying dungeons, right? Especially since Inferno Sharon is usually considered harder than Hoyan and Ikunana, right? So Sharon, even though you can have access to it earlier, the Hoyan and Ikunana are considered easier than Sharon and Regakutsu, right? So here's my Tiamat, right? Strive Bloodbath. I'm using this off piece just because it really has speed and it has the HP bonus. Didn't really have enough pieces to kind of go everywhere. To everyone, I didn't have any good, amazing crit rate pieces in Bloodbath, so instead I just used this one, and I just foregoed the Claws Guard. Like, I had a Claws Guard piece that could have worked, but I wanted to switch it to someone else, I think. So like, it might have been this one, I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I had to switch some of the gear around just to make it work. So, off piece there. The shell itself is actually absolutely cracked. Max HP percent. Crit 16%, I think the max is 18, and then max oddity damage. So this is insane. The only better thing I could have gotten was Bramble instead of Strive, right? Bramble would have been nice, but a lot of people don't target Tiamat directly anyways, unless they're huge damage dealers, or if it's AoE. But it would have been nice against certain fights. Just to have the chance of hitting back, doing a ton of damage, right? Especially since the more damage you deal, the more damage Raymary can deal, right? So I put my better gear onto Raymary with Bramble, Bloodbath, Gloss Guard, right? I don't have the Swiss Might one, unfortunately. Swiss Might would have been better for both Tiamat and Raymary. I got pretty good here, red HP, red crit, and then I had purple only. It was fine for constant damage. But the stats itself were pretty crazy with the perfect crit rate, 100% crit, decent crit damage, not the best from the subs, but a good amount of HP, and really good speed without the Swiss Might. The prowess was 544. Oh, Tiamat's was 515. I added the last one today. Okay. And these are some of the pieces there. Right. Other damage dealers, Holden, right? Not as much crit. He's on Strive, Bloodbath, Claws Guard, which is considered his best shell for having just high defense and regular damage dealing. The Insight is like a whatever. I just had a red Insight. It's like, okay, sure. And then the Shadow Dash was just I got a red and it's like, okay, whatever. In actuality, it might have been better to swap these two, right? To have more defense on my Holden, but it's fine. So these are the pieces. Like this one was kind of underwhelming, but you know, you get what you get. Okay, Lilium here was on Bloodbath, using Law of Silence. Right? I would have preferred a different passive over speed, I think, because having more damage would have been pretty impactful on certain fights. Well, the speed is just not that important in the Bruiser versus Bruiser, where you really live or die off the S3s, because you're not going to kill anyone outside of the S3 unless you have way more damage, right? And so you just want to have the high damage S3 here in order to whittle down their max HP, right? And you can do it 2 or 3 times, and that will kill a bruiser, a big tanky unit, right? Yeah. The Law of Silence, most of the times in the fights, they got the Void status where they can't target, and you take less damage from AoE. I usually got dispelled from plumes, so the Law of Silence didn't end up being too useful. If I had the ability to, I would have farmed for the Tiger Yin, right? But just not enough time. Like literally day of the tournament, and I had to sleep because the tournament was literally at 5 a.m. Right. So next up we do Viper and the damage dealers. Right, the passives are kind of whatever. It was just kind of there as a off pick in case all of my other damage dealers were taken. Right? And likewise, we have Mizuki, which is a pretty much solely used as a counter pick against Tiamat players. Right, even though I ended up picking Tiamat most games, it's good just in case to have this counter in the pocket. Another reason why I'm building these two is because they use the SR lattices, the purple lattices, and so I could actually lattice them up, right? So you can see they're fully maxed. Right? Meanwhile, the other guys, they have to be very selective. Like Holden only has 151. Now for my SR supports, right, we have Lily, right? 100%. If you don't have Lily, you should get her from the LD selector on the day 2 ticket. Right? You can wait a couple weeks, maybe until you get to Hell or Inferno, if you really want to. But you definitely will want Lily because she just makes PvE so much easier. Okay? I maxed out S1. I had a pretty good, dare I say amazing, Amber Shelfer. So I have defensive stance here. It would have been better maybe to switch this into Dauntless, which is just defense, less damage taken immediately. Or if it was, what's that? Insight? Like, both those could have been good. But, this is totally fine, right? Insight for the effect rest could have been handy in certain fights. But, yeah. Super fast, 316 in this mode. If I took off Strive, I could get it to 327 as my max speed, which is what I was using for my Etheria defense previously. Right. Over here I have the Linglo. Linglo is on Alicorn, right, just as a way to counter some of the CC that I was expecting to fight against. Right. Unfortunately, in the fights where I was using this as a CC prevention, what happens is that they had so many debuffs, they had like 6 debuffs, I didn't actually cleanse the stun, and so I just lost. Yeah, she's pretty slow just because my Swift Rush gear is like absolutely terrible. So if you look at the max speed I have for Swift Rush on these sets, I have the 9 speed. After that, it immediately goes down to 3 speed. Likewise here, I have 9 speed, and it goes down to 3 speed. Here it's a bit better, 9, 9, 9, and then 6. But just not enough speed overall to keep up with all my different units. Right. I put F-Res, triple F-Res on there. I think in the beginning I had it at 1 HP, 2 F-Res, but then I just slapped on the 3rd F-Res just because not having the Evil Guard meant my F-Res and nor Calm or Insight means that she was getting CC too often, right? So yeah, if I had more chips, then I would have rerolled for both of those on this shell just to make it more of a counter to that CC playstyle. See, Plume. Plume has the random off piece, I think. Yeah, so the shell is one of the sadder shells here. It has the plus speed, has the really good defense, has Shadow Guard, right? So overall, pretty good there, but the speed is really low, 258, right? 270, maybe 280 would have been much more preferable, right? One of the reasons why is there's no plus 15 speed from the Lattice, right? She's 111. The other reason why is because I just had no speed left, right? So I have, what, 11 here, 6, 9, 9, and then these ones are just like really, really sad, right? So just no speed left to split around. I ended up putting the really fast speed on who? I don't remember. Mizusumi, yeah. So yeah, Mizusumi, I put the red tier. I wish this was on my main account. I don't have a single red on my main. So I have this plus 19 speed here. And then I have just medium speeds, low speed on the HP bonus and F-Res here. She was kind of a extra pick, right? So what ended up happening is the day of or the night before the day 1 of the tournament, Raymary was released, Raymary and Sylph, right? And so I had saved enough to guarantee getting Raymary, ended up getting 2 copies, right? So I got the dupe. And then after that, I pulled on Permanent Banner with my tickets as well. I saved my permanent banner tickets for a bit because I wasn't sure if Sylph was going to be on the LD banner, because Sylph isn't an LD character. We've never had a non-LD on the LD banner, right? And so I saved just in case, ended up putting Mizusumi Aya there. It worked out pretty well in some fights, right? Just having the option. So she's on a very middling speed, 220, right? Just because I have no more speed, right? Which is kind of a ban bait threat, because having the option of Mizusumi just makes it so that if your opponent has like a single Hizukibari, right, then they probably ban the Mizusumi anyways, because they don't know that I don't have a lattice, right? Because if I have a lattice, then immediately it's a huge threat to the CC. Right? So that's just kind of a ban bait. Meanwhile, the real star healers, or not actually the Linglo or Mizusumi, but the SRs, because with the SRs I had more lattice, I can actually scale up some of these. Right? So I had the Sanya, right, 525 on the Strive, Bloodbath, Evil Guard, Gigabyte, right, with Calm here and with Defensive Stance. So both those are pretty nice. I think still Dauntless would have been better, and also well, Calm is pretty good. Insight would also be better too. Right. I have triple HP. This is for versus bruisers, right? Let's see. Yeah, nothing too much else there. Just have as much speed as possible, and just having prowess already makes it so much easier, right? You have plus 12 speed from the prowess compared to a lot of the other units here. And in this competition, lattice is really hard to get, right? Even the SR lattice is hard to get. So it's just having any SRs, lattices, characters is really nice, right? Meanwhile, my other main lattice for here, the SRs, was Sylph, right? So Sylph also just released. Unfortunately, I didn't get the last dupe in there. I think every time you use Sylph, it didn't matter though, for that extra 10% damage reduction, right? I slept on Bulwark on her, right? Because I needed another option against CC, right? Because I pick Mizu or Linglo, they're just gonna ban them, right? But no one's expecting Sylph, especially since Sylph was a brand new character, right? But Sylph's S3 actually has a double cleanse. So she attacks twice, each hit purifies 1 debuff from all allies. So she cleanses twice, right? And heals 30% of your allies' max HP, applying defense up, right? Even though it's a rather long cooldown, 4 turns, it's pretty good just to have it as an option, right? And it has come in handy quite a few times in the tournament, just having that cleanse. Meanwhile, we have the S2, it purifies all debuffs from a target ally, so it helps for just making it so my Tiamat or Raymary loses the wound stacks and is able to keep on fighting. Right? Also, here's a target for 50% of their max HP, which means it's better on healing the healers themselves, as well as the HP scaling bruisers, which there is Raymary and Tiamat, right? With their 50k HP each. Okay. I did not use Val at all, but I just had random gear because Val's gear doesn't really coincide with any PvP gear, right? I used to have a better Valerian shell that was actually triple matrix, but I actually just straight up way tossed it in order to have the Sylph shell. So I had the passives on the Sylph instead. Right? So this Valerian shell is just a random nonsense, just level 1 up just to have one. Didn't expect to use her, didn't use her at all. The Kaz over here on double swift bulwark, right? Did not end up using it, but it was just in case, right? You can even see the passive's kind of bad, like not even speed here. But it's just in case I fought bruisers and I had no more good options, because I built one. I had to build Kaz for PvE, right? So I had to level up this one. I put in the lattice for speed just to make PvE farming a bit easier as well, right? Which I highly recommend for new players. And what happened was that since pooling Raymary and Sylph, I had enough units that I would feel actually confident in, and so I didn't really need to use this back pocket pick, right? Because I had 1, 2, 3 primary bruisers and then 1 off bruiser, right? Well, I guess even Mizuki can be considered a primary bruiser. Yeah. So 2 off healers, the Lilium and the off bruiser, Lilium Viper. Right. So with those, I didn't really need to have the random picks in the bruiser versus bruiser mirror. Right. Similarly, I didn't feel the need to have Fuchio, right? Because having the Sylph just gave me another healer option. Without Fuchio or Sylph though, then I would have had to build Chiaki, right? But I really didn't want to build Chiaki because she has no cleanse. And cleanse is the really important thing against the CC fight, which is the hardest matchup. Meanwhile, I got Obol, another just random off pick. I built him because I needed him for Hoyon, right? Or not needed, but it's just a better pick than Kazuyo in Hoyon. And so I have maxed S3 out for that. I didn't need to max it for Hoyon, but it increases the reliability of the clearing, as well as I had it as an option here. And I just put double speed and just had offset for higher speed there. And speed tuned it so my Obol goes before my Kazuyo by just 1 speed. In case I needed to use both, I can Dispel and Bulwark immunity, and then immediately stun. Right. Doki Doki is just random stuff, just leftovers. Didn't really expect to use it. Yeah, just some speed. Because Doki Doki is okay, but wasn't really like my primary goal. And additionally, without Lattice, she's just okay. But with Lattice 555, she becomes absolutely amazing. Alright. The other stuff in my unit that I didn't use. Did not use Mia. Arkachi I didn't use. I was thinking about it earlier, especially since you can actually get these micro lattices and it's not competing in the SR and SSR lattice fight. So this was a pretty decent option. I even had a few people use it against me in the tournament. Right? Vice was just for PvE. Didn't expect to use it in PvP. Right? You could use it as like a off healer if you really needed to, but it's kind of whatever. Right? Shiada, I had as an option. I had a dupe in it, right? I had so I could have tried using a bruiser because the soul essence gives you a buff where you take less damage for every evolution. So if you have received 9 buffs total, you get 3 evolutions for a total of 45% damage reduction. So bruiser Shiada is an option. But I heard that it wasn't that great. Didn't want to risk it. And additionally, I just had the confidence in not building her because Ray was announced. Right? But I did end up building her just for Ethernet Rally, and that's something I actually recommend, right? For new players to build some units for Ethernet Rally or Cage Rumble or the Union Boss or whatever, just because it makes life so much easier. Even if it's just max level 5-star, right? No lattice is still very useful, right? A lot of my Cage Rumble stuff on my main is actually this 6-star level 1, just for that purpose, with no lattice like Chloros and Rosa. Yeli, I basically never used. I used her for Ethernet Rally, and that was it. Yeah. Let's see. Celince, I was thinking about it. I had it as an option. I just level 5-starred it just for fun to try it out in Hoyon. Didn't really work that well for me without having even more investment. And also, the lattice investment is way too high in this situation where you are so... where the lattice is so scarce. Yeah. Infonial, likewise, I would have loved to use it in PvE. Would have made it a lot easier, right? But just without enough lattice, because you really need the 2 lattice here to make it much better than any of my other options in PvE, I just never bothered with it. Right? I could have switched to Cleave, as I said in my last video here, with the Messiah, but it just ended up with that, didn't really care about it. I thought the Raymary would have been a better choice there. Heinrich, I could have built as a kind of weird counter to Tiamat if I wanted to in turn 2. But again, without lattice on the S3, he's kind of underwhelming. Right? He's still usable 1-1, but I just rather prefer some other options to counter, especially since Mizuki can counter Tiamat pretty well, just as SR, right? Using a different kind of lattice. Right? Klaus, didn't use it as a count. It is amazing still if you have them, right? You should build them. You should not skill them up, right? You shouldn't go past to get level 2, right? You shouldn't use your lattice there, but you should definitely use Klaus in PvE. Right. Hoyon, Chloros, other characters that just aren't, or Chloros isn't good in PvP at all. Right? Hoyon requires way too much gear, I think, personally, for the 1 month kind of timescale, right? Because you basically need to guarantee that you die, trigger the S2 passive, and then kill someone. If you don't kill someone with the S2 passive, then you immediately lose, right? Because you don't get the revive. Right? So it's just too much gear requirements when I didn't really want to farm some of those other dungeons. So you might notice that the only red matrices I use, right, are on Lilium. It's only a few of them. And then the Viper, right? Everyone else is using other color matrices. Right? A lot of the defensive style matrices. Yeah, that is the main stuff for here. We have a ton of different learnings from the free-to-play cup tournament, and I hope you had fun following along, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Boom.
She's
And
not
follow
coming
up.
back.
Boom. I just hold it now with execute, so it can't
Yeah,
revive.
yeah, just yes.
Wait, it
yes,
didn't
yes,
execute.
that's the way.
I don't think it executed because it killed with the raw damage.
Mary, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, nice, nice,
Very
nice.
good. Very
won
good.
this, man.
Alright, I just need gotta see. Because the stun is pretty bad. Oh, they got no effect actually though. What the heck? Like, you should have at least stunned Ray Mary. Okay. Is it S3 again? No. Okay.
Oh, you
Surprised
ever
she
gonna
didn't
get a
drop.
turn? Why did that push Ray Mary to the back? Is she just not getting a turn?
I'm not really sure what Kokardi does actually.
Oh, the S3 has a turn meter pushback.
That's so dumb.
Oh man. Pushing up. Oh no.
Oh really? Wow.
Well, look at the Amber.
That's okay.
Is it on a cooldown?
Sadly, Silva stuns and
Cool, that is.
Sonya goes after. Okay, so Lily
You
is
still got this in
out
the
of the picture for a bit, but Kokardi is going to be up earlier than my guys by a lot.
You're fine.
Okay, so Kachi is low, or did we just hit the Kachi like 2 more times anyways?
I guess so. There's no point hitting anyone else. You gotta heal Ray Mary, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
What's he got up on his Kokardi?
everything. He's
You
everything.
struggled to say the full
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, just heal up
It's
the...
gonna hit very hard.
Yeah. Okay, Kachi's basically doing nothing now except turn meter minus. Which is still annoying, actually. But
I'm gonna
if I
steal
can...
that.
If I can just get out of the
Immunity.
ice and kill a guy, then I'll do some huge AoEs.
Yes. All you need to do is get this one turn with Ray Mary, and it
Yeah.
should be over. Really.
Actually, I think it's just a win. Because as long as Ray Mary goes, as long as she actually takes a turn, she's gonna AoE, kill
You will take a
Kachi
turn.
for the next thing.
hit Kachi. Hit Kachi.
Hit Kachi anyways, because
You have to.
kind of dicey.
No. I guess so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why has he got strive or something? Like, what's?
No, because I might want to have the kill here.
Oh, but if he dies, she gets pushed up anyway, right? S3's
When
anyway.
she's frozen. I don't know.
Oh,
doesn't
she's still
matter. Didn't
frozen. Oh my god.
kill. Yeah. All right, but I got my turn. Okay. How close was it? 92. Okay. Yeah.
So you,
It's now double S2.
No, because you're gonna
double S3, I mean.
S3.
Yeah, double S3. S3, right?
spell. Yeah, for sure. Come on, follow up. Yes.
And how much damage does that do? Oh, it killed. Nice. Okay.
Yes. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, this is Tia's last turn, I think. Bye bye.
Ah, you win.
Boom. Oh wait. Okay. Wait. How much HP is
No,
that?
no, you still win.
4.
Still win.
Okay. AoE. here?
AoE.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yep. Game over, you win.
Alright. Oh my gosh. Dude, now it's
Nice.
getting over
Voila.
the tense game 3. Oh. Lilith?
Yeah. She's stunned.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, but they get one more cleave. Alright.
That should be it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like hardly did anything. I got like wait, did I even use my Linglo yet?
Nah, she got pushed back by Lilith. She didn't even get to move.
Yeah, I did two actions. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just get rid of the Heinrich. It's the only threat, right?
As far as we know. You really think that?
It's up to you. You could pick Aya and all that again, like. It's clearly like one of his only threats. Like sometimes I pick units that die instantly just so they can't get them. Yeah. See?